Welcome back, everybody. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, everyone. It's pod number 54. This is X's in the U. Of course, I'm ex president of the Sons of Ben, Matt Kandasik, joined by ex head capo Adam Booth and ex player and forever legend, the one and only Mr. Sebastian Latou. And guys, we got a lot to go through in a little bit of time, but I mean, what a couple of weeks in Union soccer. First, Adam, Seba, how are you guys?
I'm good. Happy to see a nice weather coming back today on Friday. Over 50 degrees. It feels good.
It does feel good. I wish it was
Yeah,
that way
I'm just
yesterday.
happy.
What's Adam?
I would say I'm just happy I thawed eventually. It was a little bit of a cold game, but a good match yesterday.
And Seba, we're going to get into why Adam's thawing out. I don't know if you got to witness that on Thursday, so we'll get into that. But real quick, let's just get into what we've missed since episode 53. February 10th, Clearwater, Florida. The result: Union lost 4-2 against Montreal. We hear some people were looking good, but it was still not a great win whatsoever. And afterwards, they played paintball in Florida. I guess they were just ramping up for Defense Force. But wow, they went down to Trinidad and Tobago, guys. I actually tuned in for that 5-0 win. So pretty impressive. Any thoughts on that first game against Defense Force? I know we don't want to get too crazy about a 5-0 win in Trinidad and Tobago after everybody in that whole country was on a hangover.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
just
I mean, it was impressive.
yeah, it was. I mean, it was good. I think so too. I think the fact that the game is against the team in Trinidad is not maybe like the best, but I feel to finish the preseason, even if the game, like you said, like we know we were going to win, but it's kind of a good thing to have a game that counts and have the guys who scored, especially like Alado getting his first one officially, and kind of seeing the team playing together. I think it was a good, let's say. First game to start officially the season, but we all knew that, yeah, it's not, the same levels as, MLS team for sure.
Adam, your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I mean, so basically echoing everything Seba said, the champions of Trinidad and Tobago are not necessarily on the same level as competition in Major League Soccer, but you play who you play. And I think they did exactly what you were suspected to do in those types of situations. And, it was a good match for the Union, especially when you're trying to gel a bunch of individuals that are finally coming together for the first time, in serious competition. So, to come out with that kind of a victory and kind of numbers, solid match, something to build on for sure.
Yeah, and I will say one thing. I was impressed with Frankie Westfield, and I was at Zed's down in South Jersey watching it, and some of the guys, some of the Bridge Brigade boys were there, and they, as much as they should be high on Frankie, they were really missing Kai. So Adam, I know you're an ex-Cad capo, but I'm saying every time Frankie gets an assist or a goal, we're just yelling "Yippee ki mother father, yippee ki!" So
I
it kind of
respect
sort
that.
of make people forget a little bit. So yeah, I thought Frankie played well, and it was good to see. So I, like you guys both said, you beat who you have to play. Unfortunately, we followed it up with the season opener down in DC, and boy, was that not pretty. I mean, that wasn't pretty at all. We lose 1-0, and it landed us number 18 in the MLS Power Rankings. I don't know if we are putting any stock into that garbage anymore, but we're now number 18. But let's get your reaction, guys. Anybody go to DC? I know I didn't. No, Adam, you didn't. Seba, were you
Yes, I
handling
was.
that? Yeah. How was the atmosphere and then the game down there?
Uh, I mean, the atmosphere was good. It was not crazy, but for me, it was my first one calling the game over there in DC, and I have to say, their booth for TV and radio, especially radio, it was terrible. Like we're in a corner, not even like I would say having a great vision. It was so hard to see one half of the field, but yeah, it was. let's say, not the best first half. It was hard to kind of see the team, especially defensively. You can see like all the leadership, we lost from last year. But then I think we got better in the second half. Unfortunately, yes, the red card limited our chance to come back in the game. I think we finished strong. I think physically we are better than DC, but at the end it was tough to get the win. But yeah, not my best first experience in DC, that's for sure.
That mirrors the supporters in DC for our experience because they put us in the worst seats. It's terrible. I think the stadium is pretty from the outside, and I don't think it's great on the inside. But I'm going to let Adam get into his thoughts of that 1-0 Ty Baribo sticking it to the U.
Well, I appreciate Ty Baribo scoring the exact goals that Ty Baribo scored, which were just, hey, I'm open, hit me, and then, puts it in the back of the net. And, look, a lot of was spoken about it being a revenge game and all this stuff, and I'm just like, I guess the relationship soured towards the end when he wanted more money and they decided to transfer him and tell him to get money from another club. But good for him, good for the moment for them. It's been a very long time since DC has competed against us in a solid manner, so I'm sure they're very happy about that. But look, I take that game with a grain of salt, especially with the red card. Like Seb has said, that limited our chances to come back ultimately. But I also know the fact that, you have a team that it was gelling, still in the process of gelling. They're still doing it as we speak. They just got back from borderline South America, and to play the next game on the road, I think that's a little difficult. Everyone talks about sea legs and all parts in between. You're still trying to shake off the early season rust. So, and I didn't believe DC played that well, against us. So I think they got one goal, and it was they got a couple opportunities, got one goal, and then just kind of benefited from the red card from there. So it's a loss. And if you want to put us 18th in power rankings, do so. I'm not against that. But I don't think it's going to have so much bearing on how the Union finish up this season.
Yeah, I thought they looked disjointed, maybe even a little disinterested. And Seba can speak on it or we can, but when you're the big brother, hence the Union, you're playing one-on-one basketball against your little brother, hence DC United, and you wax them so many times, the next time you play, you're not that excited. And then little brother scores 2 miracle jump shots and beats you. So the next time we play them, I'm predicting, a smackdown of massive performances. So we're going to see. I do want to comment, though, Adam, I don't know if you saw this, but in the supporter section of the DC United, the return of Barra Brava, and they had a little banner saying scums of Ben. So I just want to comment. I'm not the president anymore. I don't know if Justin wants to say anything. I don't know if you even say anything to give jabs back because, it was cute. Good for you. You came up with something kind of cute. But speaking about scumbags, you've just got back from being banned in your own stands. You literally threw beer on a woman that was a podcaster for your team. You tried to fight us outside of our bus until the Shield and my girlfriend were on the bus, and I said, oh, let's go. Then they didn't want to. So keep it up, Barra Brava. Glad to have you back in the MLS. Glad to see you probably get suspended again shortly. But, that's my 2 cents about DC experience.
To speak on Barra Brava, they are scumbags. They are one of the worst supporters groups in Major League Soccer. The fact that they were banned in the first place does not shock me. They will be banned again. I have no doubt in my mind because they pretend that this is somehow Europe or the deepest parts of South America when this is soccer moms and suburbs. 90% of the fan base is out here. So to have that kind of activity at these soccer games in the United States, it's unacceptable. And they will be dealt with, I'm sure. But Scums of Ben took you long enough. Like, my God, we've only been a supporters group for a decade and a half now, and
16 plus 17 years. Yeah, it's time to get the Scums of Ben T-shirt. I think
look, I'll wear one.
I think some people in the river end will wear it, so that's okay.
I'll wear 2.
Well, we'll get to that about you and your shirts. But speaking of loyal supporters, loyal to the end, can't stop, won't stop. Last night, the Union played Defense Force to a packed crowd, Adam, It was absolutely what we expected it was going to be. We did quadruple what Defense Force fans came out for, but it still was a little light. The good news, the players could hear everything we said. So that did happen. And Seba, I don't know if you know this, but apparently the age of consent in Trinidad and Tobago is 16 years old because Cavan didn't score just once. He scored twice on them. So the age of consent is now 16 in Trinidad and Tobago. But yeah, I mean, you got a walloping 7-0 victory, and Seba, what I was alluding to is Adam was feeling a little free that day. He freed the nipples. He was shirtless the entire game. So I don't know if you got to see that anywhere, but it was a sight to be seen. And I think Adam is in mid-season form.
No, I didn't see that. Unfortunately, I would have loved to, but I think Adam needs to keep his nipples, I think, away, until maybe there's a better win from the Union. But I understand, having Cavan scoring his first 2 goals officially for the team, it's definitely great for him, great for his confidence, and yeah, I think we are going to probably see much more of Cavan Sullivan this season, for the team, try to have a bigger impact. Because he's the players that we need, and we see that even if it's against the defense team of Trinidad, they did a pretty good job, and he was impactful. He got assists, he got goals, and he was really running the offense for the Union. So it was great to see that we have now Cavan a little bit more involved with the first team.
Yeah, and Adam, what do you think was more impressive, Cavan's 2 goals or your nips?
Both equally. Look, and Seba, you can't stop me. You won't stop me. You can try to stop me, but no. Also 7 goals is a lot. I feel like that should be celebrated, regardless of opponent. You put 7 in the back of the net. That's still a pretty solid number. I'm sure there were a lot of people shirtless in Cincinnati after 9 goals. So, I feel like I was just, adding to the ensemble. But ultimately, that was exactly what you thought it was after the first game, because I was like, well, if we're going to beat them 5-0 in Trinidad and Tobago, I can't imagine these gentlemen are going to come up into the frozen tundra of Chester, Pennsylvania, and put on a solid performance. They did not. But I hope they enjoyed their time and had some good food while they were here in Philly. But that was a decisive win. It's a weird thing for me. I was thinking about this earlier when I was thinking about the pod we were going to do today, about how far the Union have come along as an organization to the point now where we're now regulars in the Champions League of this competition, and the fact that we are dismantling these lower leagues in the ways that we did. It just, when you think about everything that started in 2010 to where we got now, it's pretty remarkable, the Union's journey on that. But ultimately, the test against Club America will really prove how far we've gotten. But in the meantime, good match. I was a little shocked how poorly it was attended. I was assuming, I didn't think it was going to be a packed house by any stretch of the imagination, but it was definitely one of the lighter crowds I had been to for a game of significance. And when you put it against the backdrop of the Champions League over in Europe, it's kind of funny just to see the interest level for this tournament domestically.
Yeah, and I'm curious if this is a bellwether for when they switch the schedule and you're playing in February and people are like, no, wake me up in June. So we're going to see. Now, you did mention Club America. That's who we drew out of this, and they will be in Chester for that game, and that is on the 10th of March. So it's probably still be a little cold, but I'm hoping Union fans show up because Club America fans are going to show up for that. So hopefully we get better attendance for that one, because that's going to be a whole different test. And speaking of tests, the people that knocked us out of the playoffs, Adam, Seba, New York City. Adam, do we still call them unhomed? They're just renters, right? They don't have a house, right?
No, they're classic New Yorkers. They're just renting at the moment from a very friendly tenant of theirs. It's their dad. There's many New Yorkers who rent from their fathers.
They're living in their dad's basement in New York City.
They are living in their dad's basement in a weird confined space. But eventually they will be housed. And that house will actually be featured in the 2028 Olympic Games. I found out a couple of days ago for the soccer tournament. They're going to use a few MLS stadiums, and the new Diggs in Queens will be one of them. So, shout out to that, and another shiny stadium being added to our fine league.
Let's see if they don't get delayed by construction and red tape in New York City.
I mean, you never know. But hey, Mondani is a big soccer fan, so I feel like he might try to get that thing through. But legitimately, it's one. Shout out to Matt Freese now becoming a star, apparently. I've seen him in all of these MLS commercials, and they are pushing the second most famous person from Wayne, Pennsylvania really hard. So good for them. I think last year, when you remember what the circumstances were for that game, some of the news that was surrounding the weeks leading up to that game, maybe a little bit of champagne hangover from such a successful season. New York caught us on the chin, but I don't believe they're better than us. So I definitely believe if revenge is on the mind, if you will, that the Union will definitely try to take care of some business this coming Sunday. And I think they have a good chance at doing so, but it's a classic derby.
This is important for the Union just because blowing it to DC, you're looking at the schedule. You don't want to be 0-2 in MLS, and you definitely want to have your wins at home. They're really important. So, Seba, what do you think? I know you've looked at New York City and the Union and what we have to do. What do you think is our key to success for beating and getting the revenge that we so deserve against New York City?
Yeah, I mean, the New York City FC, it's a team who really didn't change much, I feel like, from last year, and the one who kicked us out of the playoff run. So I think we have a little revenge to play against them. But I think we are the team who changed the most. So how can we, get, our team fit, quickly? It'd be nice to get, Lukic back, I think, in that game in the center of the field. Then it's kind of like always, the back line. Who are we going to play as a left back? I'm not sure yet if, frankly, Westfield will be able to play, from his injury he got at the Champions League game in Defiance in, Trinidad. But then you have, the new signing we just announced today, Ndinga. So I don't know as well if he's, able to play right away, or if we have to wait a little bit for him to be fit. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what lineup and who's going to play in front as well, since Alado got a red card, so he's not going to be available for that game. I think what changed, now for this season, especially the year 2 being the Supporter Shield winner, all the team are kind of waiting for us, as they are respecting us. They know what we can do, especially in transition. So you saw, the DC game plan, especially in the first half, really worked very well for them. They counter-attack us, when we didn't want to get counter-attack. We kind of fall into their game plans that we were forcing a little bit too much the ball into the midfield, and at the end we got punished. So let's see if we can maybe bring more energy into that game, especially being a home opener. It's always special when you play the first game at Subaru Park. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to see a bit more energy, from the team. Try to get from the get-go, early lead like we have been doing, the past year. But I think New York is going to just probably wait for us, try to counter-attack with their speedy, forwards, and their technical player. So yeah, it's going to be I think a very good game, and I think it's a much better team than DC, without disrespecting DC United. But I think New York give probably a bigger problem to the Union, but I think it's good to right away get, for me, one of the best teams in the East this season.
Totally agree. I'm hoping that they just are, just more energized. Some people like Kevin and other players are going to have a little confidence from that 7-0. You're hoping that carries over, and I'm hoping the crowd shows up. It's going to be Sunday, 4:30. The sun will be out for the first half, maybe. It's going to be a little chilly, but it's should be fine weather. Nothing that we haven't faced before. Probably the same temperature as that playoff game. So I'm hoping we get a full house. The energy's rocking, and we take it to New York City. I've already talked to some fans of New York City, and they're heading down. So I know they're bringing a bus or two of people to witness this. So it should be a good match, and I'm hoping nothing but the best, and I think we get the win. Now, the one thing everyone should look forward to is the following Saturday, guys. Adam, your friend Timo Werner is coming back. He's left Chelsea, prior to Chelsea. No, I'm lying. But yeah, he's playing for San Jose. So I'm actually out of town. I don't know if anybody wants my ticket. Hit us up. You can go. But Timo's back. So all the Euro snobs can watch Timo come and play MLS soccer.
I am I love every European juggernaut, air quotes on juggernaut, that comes to America. I love the idea of more of these individuals choosing to spend at least part of their career in MLS. I even know that there's now the stronger rumors from Antoine Griezmann looking at Orlando. So there's a lot of rumors and things coming along with players that might not be at the end of their career, and also players that are at the end of their career. But I say this, and I still like how the Union do their model. I still like the idea of, signing a 20-year-old who may be unknown but is unproven and has an opportunity to build and grow and make a name for themselves, like a Kai Wagner. And now there's a good chance Kai Wagner is going to be fighting to go up to the Premier League next year. So it's pretty remarkable what can happen, in the right circumstances. So shout out to the growth of the league and more individuals choosing our league. I don't think it's really going to help San Jose that much, but enjoy though.
Yeah. So, well, we'll see. But anyhow, just wanted to, I know the last pod I promised Dave Leno, he got postponed. We'll get into that, but we are going to have an episode interview with Dave to help us pronounce everybody's name on the new roster and get to know the roster. We will have that soon, I promise you. A couple housekeeping things. I know we're going to wrap it up soon. ESPN FC ranked the 50 best U.S. men's team players according to their club performance. Indiana Vasilev, midfielder for the Philadelphia Union, came in at number 49. That was it. That was everything from the Union for that. But hey, Indy, congrats. Maybe you make the World Cup. The Academy had the first Snow Bowl, and I know Seba was down there, and I'll let him touch on that in a second. And Adam, we talked about this last one. The Union's new kit was ranked number 3 on CBS Sports list of new kits. LAFC was number 2, and Kansas City was number 1. I was kind of shocked about the KC one, but KC came in number 1. First time in 3 or 4 years that Kansas City's been good at anything. Oh, no, I take that back. I love you, Kansas City. What else is in the news? Sportico listed their guesstimate on franchise values, and the Union are pegged at. You guys want to take a guess how much the Union's worth? Waterfront property, training facility. Adam, you're muted.
$700 million.
Seba, you want to take a guess at the value of your former club?
Nope.
$740 million.
Woo! Still American.
We're still American, man. It's a 6% increase and 14th out of the 30 teams. So we'll see. And then the weird thing is Goal.com ranked the Union number 21 out of like MLS teams in 2010 to present. And this is the one thing, listen, I love the kid, all the time, but the GOAT that Goal.com listed for the Philadelphia Union was Brendan Aronson. Yeah, he's the GOAT of the team. I don't know. His name ain't on the stadium. We're not even going to let Seba. Doesn't even have to justify.
He don't even have to say words.
Yeah, I don't think they know the Union. But yeah, we got by the way, Adam, did you get your annual gift?
I have not. No.
Season ticket holders. The Sons of Ben don't have theirs ready, so don't go until like the 7th. But yeah, we got the little scarf. You got this combo can holder, Adam, and it's a coffee cup. Little combo action. And then the most controversial thing I've seen so far, Adam, and the Sons of Ben better make a statement, or I'm going to be personally offended. Like they've got mini ice trays. What are they trying to say, Adam? That they like ice, or that ice should be contained? I don't know. Like it's very. Now I hope everyone listening knows I'm kidding. For God's sakes.
I always believe ice should be contained in a place where I can see them.
Yeah. So
Very
you're gonna get a tray of that to contain it in your freezer. So I hope everybody's happy with the gifts.
That's exciting.
Yeah. But it's about as exciting as the MLS draft because I had a note like, did that even happen?
Here's the funniest thing about that. At this point, the fact that it still continues to happen is very amazing to me because like I just don't even know when's the last hit from the MLS draft that was truly amazing. Like it just feels like even if you're doing it to get reinforcements, that's one thing, but like we're having it where expansion clubs are coming into MLS and immediately winning. It's not one of these things where you have to build a franchise like good old American sports socialism of yore. So, I mean, hey, do what you got to do, but I think we can do away with this.
The only draft picks I remember were, Andre Blake and a supplemental draft from the Pacific Northwest, Mr. Sebastian Latou. They were the only draft picks I really remember and count. Other than that, not so much. Just league news. I don't know. And Adam, I want to get yours and maybe even Seba because I'm sure you know him. MLSsoccer.com let Matt Doyle go. I don't know if you guys saw that. You're shaking your head. I'm a little disappointed because it kind of went from like Major League Soccer to marketing messysoccer.com. So I don't know, Adam, you got anything to say about the departure of Matt Doyle? I'm sure he's going to be fine. I'm sure he's going to go write a newsletter or something instead, and we'll subscribe to that instead. But it was, I thought it was shocked that MLS just decided to step away from that.
For me, it's disappointing, but it's not shocking. Journalism isn't what it used to be, and it's not craved in the same way that it used to be. So for me, I'm not really taken aback when I see good journalists be removed from their platform. MLSsoccer.com is a propaganda arm for the league. That's what it is. It is something that is meant to prop up the league. They have the ability to criticize and make some people feel bad, but they're not really out here to actually take dumps on the league in any capacity. So it gets to a point where it evolves, and this always evolves into it gets softer each iteration. It gets less critical of itself, and it gets more and more. It begets itself, basically, and. I'm really disappointed. This isn't the person of proper journalism that they let go, but I don't think journalism is important to MLSsoccer.com at this point. I think it's about selling merch. I think it is about making sure the schedule is out there and putting out a power ranking so people can argue on in the comment section. Outside of that, I'm not sure what they're trying to produce anymore. So.
I don't know. Seba, your thoughts on I'm sure you've crossed paths with Matt in your many years.
Yeah, I mean, I know him a little bit, doing some interview for him when I played and everything. But yeah, he was one of the, I say, the pioneer, on MLS.com. So yeah, it's a bit a weird decision, but we don't know everything happening, under all the files and everything. So just wish him good luck, and I'm sure we'll probably see him, very soon, maybe in Philly.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when you have talent like that, you're not going to be on the shelf too long. So, but in news, guess what, guys? Fafa went to Atlanta, so I think he's going to be enjoying those Magic City wings. So good for you, Fafa. You'll fit right into Atlanta. And then who else was joining Fafa? Adam, do you know?
Who's that?
Sergio Santos. Sergio.
Oh man, you know what? I'm happy with them.
They're gonna fly on that turf if it was 10 years ago.
Oh my god, no, I'm happy for both of them. And also, real quick, if you didn't see how the Atlanta Hawks has partnered with Magic City for when they play the Orlando Magic for Magic City Night at the Atlanta Hawks, the greatest marketing I've ever seen in the history of sports. I'm gonna die on this hill. Seba, if you don't know what Magic City is, it is a strip club in Atlanta that sells possibly one of the best hot wings in the United States. And they have partnered with a professional sporting team to have a celebratory night for their legendary strip club establishment. And I have to say, it's the greatest marketing I've ever seen in my life.
Here's my question. We were playing a team from the Turks and Caicos, and Lou Turks wasn't a sponsor. What the hell, union marketing?
What team from the Turks and Caicos did you
play? That's right. It's Trinidad and Tobago. Nobody would have known the difference. Come on.
As a
People would've
person who
known.
frequents beaches, Turks and Caicos, I do. I know the difference.
But we could have had Lou Turks as a sponsor. Oh,
We
what a
always
miss.
can have Lou Turks as a sponsor. It's
What a-
Delco, my boy.
What a miss. Now, speaking of probably not a miss, the rumors out of the North are true. The North is coming. Toronto FC, Josh Sargent. Give me your thoughts, guys. Josh Sargent coming from England to Toronto. Seba, will Toronto suck still, or does Josh Sargent save the day?
I don't know. We'll see. But I think just for me, the price was a little bit too high. But it's the only thing I would say. He's a great player, but I don't think the money they spent for him, they could have maybe get 3, 4, 5, 6 good player. But again, they just did it that way. But hopefully, whatever it's going to do is going to help them. I'm sure. But just for me, the price was a little bit too high for me.
Yeah, I was shocked by that, but it's going to be entertaining to see, and maybe that helps that he's on North American soil for the World Cup. Because right now I'm just selfish about U.S. soccer doing well in the World Cup, so I'll be rooting for Josh to put in some work. And then the last thing that for league news, the League's Cup officials are putting details that Mexico hosts certain matches for the League's Cup coming up. So between August 4th and the 6th, we could be traveling to Mexico. So just, get your passports ready. That's what they're trying to finalize. So we're going to see. And then the only thing I had left, and Adam, I'm sure you've seen it. I don't know if Seba has, but Seba's going to have to ask us for some special favors. Jamaica unveiled a new kit. And I'm not going to lie, I already bought the Adidas shoes with the Jamaica colors, the Bob Marley ones. So, Seba, have you seen the Jamaica new kits?
No, I did not.
Okay, so this is the favor. We need you to check them out and get Dre to hook us up with some authentic kits, because these things are Adam's silently agreeing. I'm going to let him go on, but these things were awesome, weren't they, Adam?
Look, real quick, anything with Bob Marley, I support. So if you want to do any collaborations with BMW himself, I'm here for that. So look, they're gorgeous. They're fantastic. And I'm happy that Adidas, after so many years of falling behind every other kit manufacturer, is now putting their flag in the ground as probably making the best soccer jerseys in the world right now.
Yeah, these things, Seba, make sure you check them out. They're awesome. Like I said, I did get the shoes. I was choosing between the two, but now our faith is in you, Seba, to hook us up with some kits, man.
All right. I hope they qualify for the World Cup.
Oh, I've got 2 horses in these races. I want to see Jamaica qualify, and I want to see Poland qualify.
Yeah, at Hem. No.
But who?
Tutta Italia. Tutta Italia.
For you, I'm rooting for that, but I can't have 3 horses in this race, Adam. Come on.
Va bene, va bene.
Yeah, my heart's only got room for 2. You know that. Guys, we're wrapping up 54. Does anybody have anything to close up with? Any news, any info, any thoughts, any wishes, any dreams?
I designed 2 new Frisbee jerseys. They'll be coming out soon. Everybody be on the lookout.
All right. Seba, anything to tell us about?
No, just excited for Sunday game. Home opener, it's always, a great moment. So, yeah, looking forward for Sunday.
And will we see you out on Union Yards before the game?
Maybe. It just depends how quick I get to the stadium. But, yeah, I'll probably be there. Or after, since it's an early game. So, after
early game? Victory beers? Sounds good.
I hope so.
All right, everybody. We will see you Sunday at the Sub. So thank you very, very much. It's episode number 54 in the books, guys. Thanks again. Talk to y'all soon.